Rick Perry is gonna triple down, or at this point it might even be quadruple down on his Obama conspiracy that he's sneaking people over the border and it's a coordinated effort, like he's talking to Mexican drug cartels and he's saying, yes, send them up the Rio Grande. I'll be out there with a backpack and a sombrero. Come on, Issy, I'll take you to the White House, Holmes. Come on, man, don't be stupid. Obviously, President Obama's not doing that. But Rick Perry's sticking to his guns. And of all of the interviews that we covered where they mention this to Rick Perry, Kate Bolduan here does the best job of holding his feet to the fire. Look at what she gets Rick Perry to say. He embarrasses himself even more than usual.
You said last month that the administration on this issue was incredibly inept, or they're in on this somehow. After your meeting today with the president, which one is it, Governor?
Well, I don't know, and that's the reason I asked that question a month ago was, why haven't we had any more action out of this administration? And, you know, again, the president has come to Texas. The president was gracious and allowed me to give him my insight on this, and I appreciate that. But the fact is, he still hasn't acted. And so actions are really important in this process.
But words are important here as well. As you're saying, as you think, as Republicans believe that the president's words in talking about the DREAM Act previously, that has sent the wrong message to Central America. So words do matter in this debate. Do you really honestly believe, as you said in that interview last month, that the administration might be in on this somehow? I mean, you're suggesting there's some kind of conspiracy here.
No, what I'm suggesting is that this administration and their words and their actions, or the lack thereof, are part of the problem. I think you're putting the words of conspiracy in my mouth, which I did not say.
No, you actually did say the word, I hate to be conspiratorial, but I mean, how do you move that many people from Central America?
And I hate to be conspiratorial. I hate to be conspiratorial. I did not say I was.
I didn't say conspiracy. I said conspiracy. Rick Perry, come on. Can you have a more spot-on George Bush moment? Now, what is tribal sovereignty? Well, when we talk about sovereignty, I want you to realize that it's sovereignty. Him and George Bush are the same person. They are the same person. Governor of Texas, incredibly stupid, have presidential ambitions. America, if you vote for Rick Perry, we're getting a divorce. Now, look, to the more substantive part of the conversation, which I can't even believe I'm looking for the substance in a conversation with Rick Perry. He just said, when I said conspiratorial, I didn't mean I was talking about a conspiracy. So clearly we're dealing with a silly human being here. But the idea that, well, Obama's not doing anything about the border situation, so, yeah, I mean, that's the problem, is his actions are the problem. Except they are not the problem, because Obama is not a dictator. All of the executive orders that he's signed do not have to do with spending, okay? The Constitution says that all spending bills have to originate in the House of Representatives. He's not allowed to unilaterally send more money to the border. That's not how it works. And then also, I thought you hated the executive orders. Now all of a sudden he's like, well, we need an executive order from the president. He doesn't do enough executive orders. Last week you were like, oh, there's too many executive orders. This is the worst thing ever. Imperial presidency. He's like a dictator. They can't decide whether they're coming or going. But either way, it's irrelevant because under the proposal from the House, the Democrats in the House of Representatives, okay, and under the Senate Democrat proposal, supported by President Obama, the immigration reform, it sended more border agents and patrol agents to Texas and all along the southern border. It increased border security by billions of dollars. That's not me speaking. Read the bill. We've talked about it on the show 117 times. But he acts like, well, Obama hasn't done anything. He doesn't want anything to happen here. He's just border chaos is what he wants. No, he addressed it. He proposed it. You guys blocked it. Of course, you guys being, Senate Republicans. But he's the governor of Texas, so he's innocent in this. But what he's wrong about is he doesn't read the fucking news. He doesn't follow what's going on. So he just naively thinks like, oh, Obama hasn't tried to do anything. No, he did. And he was blocked by the Republicans, like on every other issue. Okay? And then the other argument they use is, well, I mean, we can't handle it. I mean, there was a town in Texas that just banned immigrant children even stepping foot into their town. Yeah, just like Jesus would do, right? These are the same people who would say, I believe in Jesus and the Bible is the literal word of God, except the part where he says, be kind to immigrants and all that stuff. No, fuck that. We're not even going to allow immigrant kids to step in the place, right? But again, the Democratic proposals cut the deficit for immigration reform. So they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And Rick Perry had a goofy quote the other day about, I think the solution is having drones on the border. Look, I'll be kind. Maybe he's not saying armed drones, but maybe he is stupid enough to think he wants that. He wants armed drones on the border. I don't know, right? But I'll be kind and assume he's talking about regular drones just to do surveillance, right? Well, guess what, Rick? That was also in the Democratic proposed immigration bill. Drones on the border. So yet again, this is just another perfect example, like every other political issue. The Democrats propose mostly what the Republicans want, and then the Republicans all of a sudden hate it, right? And then they'll still go out there and complain and pretend like the Democrats didn't just propose exactly what they want. There's no winning.
Tribal sovereignty means that. It's sovereign. I mean, you've been given sovereignty and you're viewed as a sovereign entity. Okay. And therefore, the relationship between the federal government and tribes is one between sovereign entities.